Hello everybody, welcome to Brokenomics. My name is Zach and today we'll be discussing Koii. The internet is no longer the cool niche space with weird interesting websites made by the original content creators. For them, creating content was for the thrill of experimenting on this new platform, the World Wide Web. In the early 90s, when the internet was becoming less of an academic thing and more of a consumer thing, the vision of the internet then could have gone one of two directions. An advertising model, the way it has gone, where we're all being advertised at by Google and Facebook, or it could have gone forward with payments, paying micro amounts for every piece of content that we consume and create. Now the internet as we know it is dominated by platforms. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook and Google. These monoliths have flipped the narrative in their favour. They control the distribution of media, giving very little to the creator in comparison to what the creator gives to them. They hold giant monopolies and are only accountable to themselves. This has led to great silos of your data and thus great data breaches. Adverts are everywhere, paywalls hiding content, with the creators and the end users being the ones who suffer most. Data has been compared many times to oil, and these tech giants have been compared to oil companies at the start of the 20th century, where they had great reach, power and influence. In this scenario, our attention is the raw material getting exploited for no return to us. Koii aims to change that by building a decentralized network that can replace the traditional one, in the process disrupting social media, search and publishing. I'll hand it over to Robin next.
Koii is creating an online environment that is seamless for creators and also for consumers, in which transactions are valued and rewarded fairly. Currently, Koii Rocks is the proof of concept. Koii Rocks is a super easy to use NFT platform that utilizes Airweave's network. Airweave PermaWeb is a data storage solution aiming to ensure that all data is available and accessible indefinitely. On Koii Rocks, you can easily mint NFTs for less than 1 cent and within less than 1 minute, which then will be stored decentralized forever on Airweave's network. And what you got here is basically a cross-chain NFT wallet. You will then be rewarded for your NFTs based on a concept called real proof of attention. Simply said, your NFTs will be valued based on the attention it gets and the real traffic. What Koii does, it uses atomic NFTs to allow users to own their own content online. Atomic NFTs combines smart contracts and media assets in one single payload and stores them decentralized so that it can't be lost. When we compare these to the typical Ethereum on-chain NFTs, Koii Rocks saves 99% of the energy costs and it results in a much smoother user experience. And Koii is unique. Koii stands for Key Owned Information Infrastructure. The tracking of attention is just one part how tokens are distributed. Furthermore, we recognize that Koii Rocks connects underlying technologies really well together. And what this means for you is you don't need to learn an additional language to connect to different technology. Also, you don't need to learn how to interface, for instance, with Airweave, like in the example of Koii Rocks. And thirdly, there's no need for file-to-app intermediaries. So only what you need is Koii, and that's it. Koii is a clear example how to make the publishing experience cheaper, faster, smoother and more secure. Let me give you a clear example why we as creators really like Koii. So a month ago we reached our 1000 subscribers mark, which means that we could enable monetization on our channel. This sounds really great, but think about this. If you don't reach the 1000 subscribers, you cannot monetize your channel. So a lot of the creators are eliminated from the rewarding ecosystem, even though they produce value. So let's have a look what it meant for us so far, monetization. In the last month, we had 32,000 views. We had more than 2,000 hours of watch time. We added more than 700 subscribers, but all of this just resulted in $108 in ad revenue. And this estimated revenue is not even accessible to us right away. So compare that to Koii, where you are fairly and in a transparent way rewarded for the attention, and everyone that creates is rewarded for its attention. And that's why a system like Koii is very beneficial for anyone that publishes or shares the content online.
Yeah, thanks for that, Robin. So now that we understand Koii Rocks as a proof of concept, we can look forward and see that the protocol actually has far wider ranging use cases than this. You can imagine it being used on apps similar to YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, and creating an environment in which the dApp developers and the content creators are rewarded fairly for the attention that they garner and the value that they create. And another really interesting use case for the protocol is particularly in social media, because this is one area that I think a lot of people don't even realize that they are in fact content creators, whether it be a post that you share on Facebook that, provokes discussion and gets people thinking, or whether it be a photo that you share on Instagram. This is content that you have produced for another website, and all you get in return is your data mined and ads shoved in your face. But with the Koii protocol, what you can actually do is implement a tracking tag on any of the content you put up on these third-party websites anywhere, and that will mean you actually get rewarded in Koii tokens for your content as well. So one of the challenges that any new network faces in this space is getting people to come in and build the dApps on the network. And Koii have a multi-pronged approach to addressing this. So number one is the software development kit, which is like making it as close to kind of plug and play, drag and drop dApps as it possibly can be. Everything is programmable in JavaScript, from the game logic to the smart contracts. And they're also offering grants to people to develop on the network as well. So even if you have a very limited amount of programming ability or next to none, on a recent community call, they said, guys, go. If you have something you want to build on this network, come and get in touch with us. We'll do everything we can to help you out in making that a reality. So with that, their socials are in the description. Go chat to them. They're good guys there, very friendly and helpful. So yeah, go and have a chat with them about that if you have ideas in that respect. Another thing that they're doing that's really crucial here to the ecosystem as a whole, actually, is the introduction of downstream rewards into the dApp building framework. Now, that could sound a little bit abstract, so what I'm going to do is give you a really simple example of this from video games, and in particular, Grand Theft Auto 5. So what you're seeing here in Grand Theft Auto 5 are mods. They're user or gamer-generated content that is, I mean, as you can see, absolute labors of love. Like, a lot of time and effort and care has gone into making these. And it's not a phenomenon, building mods that's just distinct to this game. It happens all across the board. But the issue is that there's actually no incentive structure built in, apart from perhaps, a tip jar on the website that I've seen for people to actually go out and build these things. But can you imagine if there was? I mean, forget about cars. We'd be looking at 3 or 4 new maps or cities to play the game in. It would be absolutely phenomenal. And, also in the case of smaller games, particularly in those cases, in fact, when they get kind of a cult following, incentivizing the people who are obsessed with the game to actually improve the user experience for everyone. And that's what Koii Downstream Rewards is all about. The dApp developers can build in these incentives to make sure the people enjoying and using their apps can go forward and build on the user experience that they've created in the first place. So another example of how these downstream rewards can really, make the ecosystem improve and grow would be on a video site. So up the stream, you have your dApp developer. A little bit further, you wind your way down the stream, you get to us, the content creator. And then further down the stream again, you have the viewers, the subscribers, and people who consume the content. Now, on our first video, I think after the video, let's say we had 30 subscribers, 35 subscribers, something like that. But in the video, we asked, guys, if there's anything you want to see, let us know, and we'll look at it and try to cover it next. So one guy, Nathan Asgill, shout out Nathan, said, oh, guys, why don't you cover Dfinity? So we looked at it and we did. And lo and behold, 10 days later, that Dfinity video had like 15,000 views. And instead of, 30 subscribers, we had 300 or something like that. Now, wouldn't it be great if that kind of incentive, not just for suggestions, but also in terms of sharing and helping to grow the channel, could be, given to people who are viewers in order to really cement this symbiotic relationship and help everyone to grow together and be rewarded together, as opposed to, the system where you have now where, don't get me wrong, Nathan, I'd love to send you a check, but YouTube hasn't sent us one yet either. So in essence, that's exactly what Koii is. It's a system of incentives and rewards that really brings us to an internet experience where we actually build the product as opposed to being the product. And to take you through the nuts and bolts of exactly how this works, I'm now going to hand you over to Zach.
Many proof-of-stake models are designed for transaction finality instead of speed and flexibility. Koii doesn't need transaction finality as much as other blockchains because it doesn't need to know with 100% certainty that a retweet you did on Twitter wasn't double spent. Whereas Bitcoin needs to know with 100% certainty that Bitcoin has gone from Bob to Alice. Koii is built for people and media, not currency, with its main focus being on scalability. By using Arweave's permaweb, Koii has outsourced, for want of a better term, the storage, so to speak, so they can focus on consensus, gradual consensus. You upload content you've created to the Koii system, and then you request others to vouch or attest for your piece of content. Koii then gathers up all these vouchers which come from real people and their wallets. Then with more and more people vouching for your content, it has more and more clout within the system. If you think about gradual consensus as just a massive bundle that Koii compresses into a CSV file, and it could contain 20 to 50 million transactions, and then it kind of just pushes it onto Arweave. This is done intentionally to scale as large as possible. Koii also uses a lot less energy than traditional blockchains by coming to consensus slowly. Proof of real traffic, as the name suggests, allows Koii to prove traffic going to content, and also avoids any bad actors within the ecosystem falsifying traffic for their own personal gain. Users opt into tracking themselves, which is a lot better than Facebook or Google tracking you. You are tracking yourself viewing content. Koii calls this a bellwether node, and you submit verifiable proof that you've accessed the content as you browse. Proofs are submitted as headers on the standard HTTP requests, so it's easily compatible with lots of existing tech. To avoid traffic falsifications, gateways can, if they choose or need to, request a proof of real traffic header on all content requests, which includes a low difficulty hash of the requester's IP, the resource's URL, and other metadata. You can almost think of this as like a CAPTCHA that you must fill in sometimes, but this is all done behind the scenes in the HTTP header. Koii Tasks are a very simple way of creating a proof of stake network. There are two functions, the auto function and the distribution function. One can set a bounty and then nodes can participate in these activities that you define. Koii Tasks are also very customizable and use the Koii smart contract as the base. Koii Tasks include four main steps: fetching raw data, creating attestations, permanently storing that data, and then updating Arweave's state to match.
So aside from the Koii task that Zach talked about, other use cases for the token include minting NFTs on the network and registering your content. They also have a digital asset management service that involves things like ad placement, content enrichment, indexing, and you can also, of course, stake your Koii and earn rewards that way. And at the end of the day, if you're earning your Koii through the attention rewards game, you can, of course, sell it on an exchange and realize your profits. And here we can see the token distribution for Koii. On the left-hand side, you got your post-sale operations, which covers about 43% of the tokens. These are often called like foundation endowments, so tokens that are used to further the goals of the network in terms of getting people to develop or whatever else it might be. In the top right, you have the various different sales, which total about, or pre-sales, which total about 19% of the tokens. Public sale at just 2.8%, team at 25%, advisors at 4%, and the accelerator at 6%. So there's going to be 10 billion Koii minted at Genesis. Each year, 365 million will be minted for the attention rewards game, with 1 million Koii going out per day. After 1 year, 3.9 billion Koii will be in circulation, and after 2 years, that'll be about 7 billion. And the initial circulating supply will be about 510 million Koii. So just to round up by touching on a couple of key points in relation to tokenomics. Number one, the inflationary aspect in terms of the attention rewards game and the 1 million minted per day will be offset by transaction fees, also by minting and registering content on the network, obviously, because that involves burning Koii as well. And some Koii as well will be burned in relation to Koii tasks. The other key point was one of the things we asked the team was, how are you guys making money off this? And the way that they make money is through growth in the network. So in terms of being, invested in the success of this project, they're all in. So yeah, speaking about the team, I'm going to pass you on to Robin now, who's going to take you through a couple of the key players.
Let me tell you a little story about the founder and architect of Koii, Alexander Morris. Like around 2015, when he came to the US, shortly after he was exposed to the, like, let's say, crazy election of 2016. And that triggered him to start looking into the internet as a social system and how that affects human beings. What got his attention specifically was how much fake content there was online and how social media was used as a tool to amplify biased messaging to influence an election. This motivated him to look into decentralized systems like DAOs to see if there is a way to create an unbiased, more transparent network. He then spent the next year researching technology, becoming involved into the 2017 bull run of crypto, and then landing a job for the co-founder of Ethereum, a guy named Taylor Gehring, who helped him launch WeTeachBlockchain.org. That experience gave him the chance to try every technology that was out there in the market. And the one technology that really made sense to him was the technology of decentralized storage. And fast forward to now, there's the beginning of Koii. And as he and the team is building Koii, they're tackling one problem at a time, using decentralized storage network as the solution to the issues. But ultimately, this technology can be used to enable peer-to-peer social media, search, and about anything what we do online. So ask yourself this: would you support a more decentralized internet? Would you invest in something where you might be valued and rewarded more fairly as a creator or as a consumer? And Alexander Morris, with his vision, has created a team around him. A team of 22 or more highly motivated individuals to make this vision a reality. A few other key players on the team are Abel Subatu, the technology director. He has some previous experiences with Ivan on Tech. Colin Zarzur, who is the operations lead and will bring a lot of expertise from the corporate world into the team. And not to forget, we have Anna Godfrey, who is public relations and has been a tremendous help to us, answering all our questions, connecting us to the right people, and make sure that we understand what this project is about. Koii values community. So if you like the content and you like Koii, make sure to check out the Telegram group, link is below this video, and interact with the community, interact with the team members. They're happy to answer any questions you have. And make sure to like and subscribe this video. Click the notification bell because we are going to cover more content on Koii so that you won't miss out on anything. See you in the next one.